इस स्टैंड को निकाल लें। आराम से, कोई बात नहीं।
सही है, टाइट करो, ये खोलो खोलो खोलो, वो दूसरा यूज करेंगे।
अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। All the brothers are requested if you can please stand up for a few seconds. So if there are any spaces in the middle, we can fill it up, inshallah. If there are any spaces in the rows in front of you, please move forward. Once the line is complete, we can sit down, inshallah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen, wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Amma ba'du fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما. My respected elders and brothers, indeed we are fortunate, all of us sitting here or listening to this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has once again allowed us to benefit from this blessed and Mubarak month of Ramadan. There were many people within this community, within this masjid, in the neighborhood, amongst our relatives, in this country or back home, that were present and alive in the last Ramadan, but they are not with us today. Allah knows best that how many more Ramadans will we benefit from. So the ulama tell us every year that we should always consider this Ramadan, that maybe this might be my last Ramadan, and we should try to make it the best Ramadan of our life. If this is the bar, if this is the standard, if this is the objective in my and your mind, automatically, inshallah, we'll try to do better what we did last year. So first of all, it's a time of introspection, that what we did last time and how can we move a little bit ahead, another couple of steps forward. How do we know that how our pious predecessors used to wait for Ramadan, or what was their understanding of Ramadan? Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali rahimahullah, the great scholar of the 8th century, writes that 6 months before Ramadan, the pious predecessors would start dua, that, oh Allah, allow us to live until Ramadan. And when Ramadan would finish, for the next 6 months, they would make dua that, oh Allah, accept our good deeds that we did in Ramadan. So this gives us an idea how important this month is. It is the most blessed month of the Muslim calendar, the most virtuous month. Last time we had discussed that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases the rewards of good deeds in this month. Moving forward for today, we'll mention inshallah a few sunnahs and etiquettes related to suhoor, the pre-dawn meal, iftar, the breaking of the fast, and the sunnahs and etiquettes of Taraweeh. What is suhoor? Suhoor is the Arabic word for the breakfast or the pre-dawn meal that we do before starting the fast at dawn at Fajr time. Is it recommended? Yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has highly recommended it. The hadith says, "Tasahharu, fa inna fi sahuri baraka," aw kama qal. You should eat suhoor. You should eat the pre-dawn meal because Allah has put barakah and blessings in it. Regarding no other breakfast, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said this is a breakfast of barakah. Regarding suhoor, he has said this. So whether it's a cup of tea, because not of all of us are able to get early. I understand, we understand. We leave the masjid around 11 o'clock. Even if we rush by the time we go to sleep, it's 11:45. Then to wake up again at 4 o'clock, 4:15 is not easy. Especially if you have to go to work and you cannot sleep after Fajr Salah. Those who can rest, Alhamdulillah. But try to get up at least 5-8 minutes before the adhan time and eat something, whether it's a cup of tea, whether it's a glass of water, whether it's 1 or 3 dates, whatever we can do, at least we get the blessings and barakah of this meal. Second, is there anything recommended by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to eat in suhoor? The answer is yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ni'ma suhoor aw at-tamar aw kama qal." The best suhoor, the best pre-dawn meal is dates. And another hadith says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to eat dates in odd numbers. So that's why when we eat, eating in even numbers also is fine, 2, 4. But if possible, preferable is to make it odd. So this way we fulfill the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 1, 3, 5. So now we all have different tendencies. Some tend to eat light meals, bagel, cream cheese, stuff like this, bread. Some eat heavy meals, a full-fledged lunch or dinner. They eat at Sihri time also, which is fine if you have the capacity for it. So no matter what our tendency is, what our nature is, but at least start that with dates, with 1 or 3 dates. This way we will be able to fulfill the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there a recommended time to do suhoor? The answer is yes. The hadith says the best time of suhoor is the last 1/6 of the night. From Maghrib till Fajr, divided into 6 parts, it will be 1.5 hours, 1 hour 45 minutes, 1 hour 15 minutes, depending on the season, summer or winter. So that's the most preferred time of suhoor. If you cannot wake up, you want to go home after Taraweeh, eat something with the intention of sihri, and then go to sleep, that's also fine. You'll get the reward. But the preferred time is that if we can afford to act upon it. So now if we focus a little bit, just by doing one suhoor and trying to bring it as close to the sunnah as possible, we are fulfilling so many sunnahs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Doing suhoor, starting the suhoor with the dates, and doing the suhoor at the preferred time, meaning the last time before the adhan. So as much as possible, this is a refresher course for us. Ramadan is a refresher month for us. Every month we do good deeds, we get the reward. But like sometimes to stay up with the technology that is out there, you have to take a diploma or you have to do a refresher course. Ramadan is a refresher course for the Muslims around the world. So the more we try, the ulama have written to such an extent, a person whose Ramadan is spent in the obedience of Allah, it is hope his entire year will be spent in the obedience of Allah. A person whose Jummah is spent in the correct manner, it is hope that his entire week will be spent in the correct manner. So we all exert as much as possible. And we had mentioned last time that the reward of a sunnah or a nafil, Allah upgrades it to what in Ramadan? To a farz, to an obligatory act. And one obligatory act, Allah upgrades it to what? To what? 70 obligatory acts. Once we prayed Jummah, it was in Ramadan. The minimum reward me and you got would be 10 Jummahs, 1 multiplied by 10. But this time, inshallah, we are going to pray Jummah. the minimum reward is 70 Jumas. Why? Because we are praying it in the month of Ramadan. So Allah upgrades everything. We need to understand it. We need to make our children understand it. So this is as far as the pre-dawn meal is concerned. Coming on iftar, breaking the fast. It is mentioned, is there anything recommended or a preferred pattern with which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to break his fast with? Water or dates? So yes, it is mentioned. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in a hadith that you should break your iftar with ripe dates. If ripe dates are not available, rutab, then break it with tamar, dry dates. And if dry dates are also not available, hasa hasawatim mimma, you should drink a handful of water. So this is the tartib. The ulama say the preferred sequences start with a date, follow it up with water. Even at the time of the conquest of Makkah, it was the month of Ramadan. In Masjid al-Haram, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam broke his fast. Zamzam was right there. Started with date, followed it up with Zamzam. If somebody does vice versa, drinks the sharbat or the water first, nothing wrong, no sin. But if it's even that's fine, or any other thing you break your fast with. But this is the preferred sequence based on the hadith. What is the best time to break the fast? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "My ummah will be on the right path, will be on khair and goodness as long as it's hasty." As long as it's hasty in breaking its fast. Now, what does it mean, hasty in breaking its fast? Should we break the fast 1 minute before Adhan? No. Hasty means once the time enters, don't delay it for without a valid reason. Some people have a nature of being too much cautious. Well, as a precaution, wait for 1 minute, no matter the Adhan is given. No, that is wrong. You know for sure the time has entered, that no delaying. Yes, you are traveling, your phone is dead, there is no GPS, there is no compass, there is no timetable with you, and you want to delay 2-3 minutes by looking at the sky to be on the safe side, sure, go ahead and do it. But once you are sure that time is entered, do not delay it without a valid reason. Sometimes there's a difference of 1 minute between the calendars of different masajids that are around us. So if somebody wants to stay on the safe side and open it up a minute later, that's fine. Nothing wrong. Very easy. It's too confusing. 3 masjids are around you. You cannot determine one is the Fajr clock on the wall, one is this masjid, the third is another masjid. All 3 are conflicting. What should you do? Look at the sunset time. Add 2 minutes on it. We can find the sunset time on the internet. Add 2 minutes on it, and that's it. You are safe. Open up the fast after 2 minutes, 2 minutes after sunset. This is as far as the breaking of the fast is concerned. Another sunnah, recommended adab or etiquette of breaking the fast is, this is the time of acceptance of dua. We should make dua at this time. It is mentioned that Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu an used to make his entire family sit on the ma'idah, on the eating mat, and even the small children, and he used to tell all of them to make dua. So as a family, we should sit down. Let our children sit down also. Teach them how to raise their hands. So from this point, they will know this is a time of the acceptance of dua. There's a hadith of Mustad Bazzar. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, in every night of Ramadan, Allah accepts one dua. So if Allah accepts one new dua from us in Ramadan, by the end of the month, how many duas will be accepted in total? 30 du'as, okay? So now the hadith says at least one dua is accepted. The ulama then give us the sequence, how to do it. We all have a lot of needs. We need to make dua for our spouses, for our children, for a job, for a college degree, for buying a house, for buying a car, for getting our children married. So many things are there. Problems from the wife, problems from the husband, problems from the children, problem from the employer, problems in the community. So many things are there. So what we can do is every day repeat all the du'as, but start from a new du'a in the beginning. And if that one du'a gets accepted, by the end of the month, your 30 du'as will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the time of the acceptance of du'a. We should all make du'a. Even if you are late driving the car, coming to the masjid, and iftar is in the way, while traveling make dua. You don't have to literally sit down and raise your hands. Even without raising hands is preferred, but without raising the hands also we can make dua. This is as far as the iftar is concerned. Coming on the Taraweeh. Taraweeh is a sunnah mu'akkada, a continuous sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. According to all the four Imams, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahimahullah, it's a, it's a sunnah mu'akkada. So we should try to pray Taraweeh every day. And we should try to pray 20 rakats. And what's the reward? The hadith of Musnad Ahmad. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a person who completes his Taraweeh with the Imam and then leaves the masjid, Allah forgives all his entire minor sins. Okay? So without a valid reason, we should not leave the masjid in halfway. Okay? I'm not criticizing anyone, I'm just encouraging you. It's a matter of 1 month. It's a matter of doing as much as we can. So we try, unless we are really, really tired, or unless we are sick, or unless we have to report to a job, then some valid reasons are there. If possible, we try our best to complete the Taraweeh in the masjid, or wherever we are in the house, try to pray, inshallah, the full 20 rakats. This is as far as the Taraweeh is concerned. What if somebody comes late? He comes and the Imam has already started Taraweeh. He missed the Isha Salah with Jama'ah. Now, should he start Taraweeh right away? Or should he stand in the corner of the masjid, pray the 4 rakat first, and then join in the Taraweeh? He cannot join the Taraweeh right away. If he joins the Taraweeh right away, his Taraweeh is lost. Because Taraweeh is not an individual Salah. It's interconnected with Isha. It's after Isha. If you don't pray Isha Salah, Taraweeh will not come into effect. Sometimes we think that behind the Imam we can do intention of the farz of Taraweeh while he's praying the nafil of Taraweeh. This is also wrong. Pray your own farz Salah, then start with the Taraweeh. Whatever number of rakats you miss, 2, 4, 6, 8, pray the witr with the Imam, because it's preferred in Ramadan to pray witr with Jama'ah. Other than Ramadan, we don't pray with Jama'ah. But in Ramadan, since Jama'ah is there, it's preferred. Once you pray witr with the Imam, then in the masjid, complete your remaining rakats. So go home before the Fajr time, anytime during the night, you can complete your remaining Taraweeh Salah. This is as far as the format of Taraweeh is concerned. And it is sunnah to at least complete 1 Quran in Taraweeh. These are 2 separate sunnahs. Taraweeh is 1 sunnah, and completing 1 Quran, listening to it cover to cover, is another sunnah. Sometimes, once again, I'm not criticizing anyone. Sometimes we tend to skip, go from masjid to masjid. 2 days in one masjid, 2 days in the other masjid, 2 days in the third masjid, to enjoy the recitation of different imams. Sure, Quran is something to enjoy. But in Ramadan, make a schedule. Now Ramadan has already started. From before, we should make a schedule that which masjid we have to pray Taraweeh, so we don't miss. We are praying Taraweeh, but we don't complete the Quran behind that Imam or whoever we are praying behind, Hafiz Sahib. Then in that case, 1 sunnah will be fulfilled, 1 sunnah will be left. And it's very important in this month that we try our best to fulfill as much sunnahs as possible. And I'll wrap up with this. My respected elders and brothers, each and every moment has to be cherished. Each and every minute has to be cherished. This is the sale season. On the Thanksgiving weekend, people plan from so long before. And people stay awake the whole night. Best Buy and the examples of these stores and Walmart put a sale every 2 hours, and we are so up to date on it. This entire month is far, far, far more valuable than these examples that we see in this month. I mean, cut down your phone calls, cut down your conversation with your friends, cut down everything that is not of benefit. Limit your conversation, limit your work, limit everything other than ibadat as to what is needed based on necessity. Try as much as possible to recite the Quran. This is the month of the Quran. It has special connection with this month. It is mentioned Imam Malik rahimahullah was such a great Imam of Hadith. 30 to 50,000 students would sit in one majlis. Can you imagine? In one majlis of his class of Hadith. He would stop teaching Hadith in the month of Ramadan and he would he would use his time in the recitation of the Quran, and he was a hafiz. Not even by memory, he used to hold the Quran and look at it and read the Quran. Imam Shafi rahimahullah used to finish one Quran every 12 hours. So in Ramadan, he used to finish 60 Qurans. Such was the case of Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, 60 Qurans. There were certain tabi'een who used to finish Quran in every 3 nights in Ramadan. And in the last Ashara, they used to finish one Quran every night. Sure, it's difficult for us. Allah gave barakah in that time. But at least we should make these people our ideals, our target in this month, and try to do as much as possible. At least one Quran we finish in Ramadan. If we read one para and juz every day, we can easily finish one Quran. And a lot of du'as for yourself, for the ummah, for the community. Okay, we try and cleanse ourselves from whatever evil things, evil diseases that we have: jealousy, backbiting, extreme anger, animosity, grudge, arrogance. Asma'i rahimahullah was an authority in Arabic language. Those who have learned Arabic would know his name. He saw a person 120 years old. So he asked him, what's the secret of your life? Like we see an 80, 90-year healthy person today, we ask him, what's the secret of your life? He says, for example, a glass of milk in the morning, walking 2 miles every day. Everybody gives his own perspective, his own experience. What was the reply of this 120 years old? He said, Taraktul hasada fabaqitu. I left jealousy, that's why I'm still living. I'm alive and I'm healthy. By being jealous of someone, you are not harming him, you are burning yourself from inside. This is just one example of the evil diseases. This is the high time this month that we should, because this is not the purification of the body by fasting. Ramadan is a time of purification of the soul also. Whatever was said and heard, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the understanding of these things also, and allow all of us and our parents and our wives and our children to benefit from this Mubarak month. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us health, afiyah, barakah in our time, inshallah. Ameen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.